What's up? Welcome into Monday's Wake Up Barstool. A lot of great NFL playoff action to get to. Patriots advancing, Bears falling, and the College Football National Championship still going down today. So let's go ahead and start it all right now on FS1. What's happening, y'all? Welcome in. T-Bob Abear, Brandon Walker, Dave Portnoy. We got Meek, Leah Bluttman on the desk. Boys, what a weekend. NFL playoffs. The conference championships are now set. And look at Dave. Patriot Dave has his hat on, but his heart on display. Dave, what's up, man? How are you feeling today?
How can you not feel great if you're a Patriot fan? Obviously, I'm wearing the shirt, but a great weekend of football. And listen, I said a long time ago, I said week after week, actually on this program, on these very airways, I said, watch out for these Patriots. I said, these Patriots are a Super Bowl team. I said, nobody knows Super Bowl champions like I do. We go through that exercise. Can you win the Super Bowl? Can you win the Super Bowl? Every week, I told you guys, Patriots can win the Super Bowl. Patriots can win the Super Bowl. Patriots can win the Super Bowl. I was laughing, mocked a lot of times. Hey, I'm holding a 35-1 ticket for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. They dominated the Texans, a terrible C.J. Stroud. So how can I not be happy? The good old days are back again, and it's great. There is nothing like being in the mix. And T-Bob, you haven't had it for a long time with the Saints. I don't know if Walker's had it in his lifetime with the Dolphins. We had about 6 years off in New England, and we're right back in it. And I'm hearing a lot of people, I'm obviously enjoying the run. It's a celebratory time. Now, I want to say something really clear. We're playing Denver in Mile High. This is not an automatic win. I think it's 5.5. Obviously, I, like the rest of the country, was devastated and shocked when we found out that Bo Nix broke his ankle. There was no inkling it could happen. Second last play, they announced it in the postgame. My jaw hit the ground. We always, at least I can speak for the Patriot fans, we always want everybody's best shot. That's how we're made. That's how we're built. That's the Patriot mantra. We want to beat you at your best. So it stinks he's not playing. Jared Stidham, former Patriot, will be in there. But we're not going to walk in and roll this team over. So everyone who thinks the Patriots are already automatically in the Super Bowl, I'm the biggest Patriot homer of all time. We've struggled out there. The air, everything about it is a tough place to play. Do I think the Patriots will win? Yes. Is it a bye week? Definitely not. And the other thing, that other game in the NFC, I'm sick of people talking like the NFC put the crown on the NFC's head. That's garbage. I don't know what games they're watching. The 49ers were in disarray by the time they faced the Seahawks. Rams-Seahawks will be a good game. Seahawks, very tough place to play Seattle. But whoever is in the Super Bowl will be good. There's no super teams this year. So this thing is wide open, and I like my guys. I like us.
Yay,
Brandon?
hooray. Dave likes his guys.
It's funny, Dave, you say there's no super team. I mean, Seattle would obviously be the closest, right? They led the league in point differential, scored the third most, gave up the least. But, Brandon, I see an unstoppable force in the Seattle Seahawks against just an unreal ability for reality to bend around him in Dave Portnoy. I don't know how to score this.
The Rams can beat the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
The Rams can absolutely.
By the way, the
beat
Rams aren't that good.
And the Rams can beat the Seahawks, and the Patriots can beat the Rams. So there's, I think anybody left can beat anybody left except for the fact that one of them doesn't have their quarterback. The fact that Dave has been chirping about this team all year, and they had the easiest schedule in the entire NFL, and then they get to the playoffs, and they beat the corpse of Justin Herbert, and then they beat C.J. Stroud, who turned in his resume for the worst quarterback in the league yesterday, and then they get to play Jared Stidham. Life isn't fair. And if
Here's
the
revisionist history that we deal with.
Life isn't fair.
And when you're king of the hill, and when you have 6 Super Bowls, and you're going for the 7th, and you're sitting there looking at Josh Allen, and Drake May is going to get to a Super Bowl before Josh Allen, and all that stuff. The revisionist history and the dirty way that fans do this. Go look at those morons on ESPN. Go look at that panel. Go look who they picked. It was Houston. Elite, can't beat them. They can go in, and then you beat them. You humiliate them. You show that your defense is the defense everybody should talk about. And then the whole agenda and what everyone talks about after the game switches. And what people were saying before that game is Houston. Soft schedule this. Justin Herbert, I've been saying he's no good. Justin Herbert. You humble him. You absolutely humble him. You embarrass him. The only team that hasn't played any close games besides the one of the Seahawks are the Patriots. Is smashing everybody. And at the end of each game, it's a different excuse. It's something, well, C.J. Stroud stinks. C.J. Stroud was the quarterback going into the game when everybody picked Houston.
He had 5 fumbles last week, Dave. He had 5 fumbles last week.
That's because of a defense called the New England Patriots defense, which isn't getting the respect.
No, I said last week, idiot. He had 5 fumbles last week. They had 4 interceptions yesterday. He was terrible in the entire playoffs.
Why was everyone picking Houston?
I don't know. I didn't pick Houston. I bet on New England.
Yeah.
But Dave, you raise a good point, and I know you don't always care.
Don't say that.
No, about the defense. The defense should be spoken about more right now.
No. I raise a great point with everybody picking the. Go look at those morons on ESPN. Go look at their panel.
Those guys are idiots.
Houston. Yeah, they're idiots. So I'm the only smart one.
You had guys on that panel.
Would you have picked against the Patriots?
You had guys on that panel legitimately watch that first half.
So I get penalized now for the Patriots having 6 Super Bowls. T-Bob and going from the 7th. No. Am I not going to get my $1.7 million when they win the Super Bowl? Is that, he only picks against the Patriots? It's because I know great football. I've seen more of it in my lifetime in the last 20 years than anybody in the world has. I know what greatness looks like. I get penalized for that.
I'm not saying you get penalized. I just can't trust you as a objective observer necessarily.
Or I'm the most trustworthy guy there is because I know it when I see it.
There were guys on that panel that you just referenced that watched that first half from C.J. Stroud and legitimately stood up there and said, they got to give him the second half. It's his time now. They got to let him show he can do it. The fact that the Houston Texans, and listen, the Patriots earned the win. The Patriots defense was outstanding. The fact that the Houston Texans came out in that second half and played the same quarterback when they had a quarterback on the sideline that won 4 games this season, and they never tried to change it at all. They never gave it any thought to try to change it was crazy. It's coaching malpractice, and that's a very good coach.
I don't disagree that I would have gone to Davis Mills. I don't disagree with that. But they didn't. We probably would have squashed him too. And listen, my guy, you want to talk about a guy who knows who football. I knew what the key was. I talked about it before the game. I said, hey, Drake, this isn't a game for you to win. You just protect the football because this defense is great. They're going to come at you. He didn't protect the football. Now, on the other side of the coin, people are going to forget this defense, which you said you could not drive on. We had 3 long touchdown drives. Now, we didn't convert a lot of these turnovers, but there's nobody else left in the league who can pressure the quarterback like Houston. Denver's defense, I think, is overrated. They were getting boat raced by Buffalo. So, hey, Drake was a learning experience. You move on. He's still a young kid. It wasn't his best game, but it was still a convincing win.
Can I say something about the Patriots?
Yeah.
Because you talk about Drake May, you talk about the defense. Mm-hmm. All throughout the playoffs this week, there were receivers not making plays for their guys. You know, it didn't happen to Caleb. Caleb didn't get plays made for him. Josh Allen didn't get plays made for him. Josh Allen had his own problems. But last night, Drake May was fine. But Keyshawn Boutte making that play. And then
6th round draft pick, absolute steal.
Where'd he go to college, Dave?
LSU. Stephon Diggs with the strong hands in traffic, with the incredible catch in traffic. Like, his receivers went out and made plays for this guy.
Preach.
Excuse me. That is the one thing that's not getting talked about. I can't talk anymore.
Well,
those guys were amazing.
You're making great points.
They were fantastic. Defensively, Caleb Chason, another LSU guy, just continues to make plays for this New England team. And you talk about the defense.
I got coffee in. I can talk again.
Okay.
Great plays by those guys.
Thank you. That was well worth it.
I have a stat on C.J. Stroud. In his football career, he has 1-3 versus Michigan and the New England Patriots.
Who asked for a stat on C.J. Stroud?
Well, it's a good stat.
Listen, C.J. Stroud, I don't know what happened to him because he was a young, promising young buck. I mean,
we know what happened to him. He was just carouseling every single podcast he could, talking himself up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. He wasn't focused on the right things. He was focused on promoting himself.
I will say
he made it.
The Patriots defense was buzzing around him.
So
I'll give him that.
okay.
All year, my man. Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy how much you watch supposed experts. And Rex Ryan, I like Rex Ryan, nice guy. Nobody's made a fool out of himself more at the hands of the New England Patriots than Rex Ryan. But these so-called experts who watch football, they forget this is a team game. They forget this is 3 phases. I mean, I'm screaming it from the rooftops. Yes, the Texans have an elite defense. The Patriots are a complete football team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've mentioned yet, I've seen 6 Super Bowls in this run, okay? If we get to the Super Bowl, do you know how many Super Bowls the Patriots will have been since I started Barstool in 2003? 10! This will be our 10th. It's gross. So I've seen so much great football, and great teams are amoebas, okay? You don't get the same thing week to week. One week you can win putting up 40. The next week you can win in a defensive struggle. I've seen Patriots win the Super Bowl scoring 13, 15 points. I've seen them win in Super Bowl scoring 40 points. You have to adapt. Not every team is different. You play to who you play, but if you're a complete team and have a great coach and a great quarterback and a great culture and a great ownership and a great fan, you can adapt to all of this and continue this success. I think the legacies are connected. I think this is the continuation of a dynasty as long as Robert Kraft and Vrabel are involved. That's
How?
I just told you the coach and the owner.
The fact that this franchise and these moron fans like this, the fact that they lost Brady and they lost Belichick, and then they whiffed on the first coach hire and they whiffed on their first round pick at quarterback.
Yeah.
They whiffed on both of them. That's supposed to set you back a decade.
I know.
And it doesn't set them
That's
back at all.
what makes Robert Kraft throw him his flowers, because a lot of owners will sit there and they'll say, give him another year. Whoop-de-doo. What do? We invested all this money in Gerard Mayer. Robert Kraft has set such a high level of excellence for this franchise. He said, you know what? I know greatness. I know what's right. The Titans, the Tennessee Titans, they're thinking about hiring Matt Nagy. You want to talk about a franchise that should just withdraw from the league. What are they doing? There are 3 candidates I saw. I only remember Nagy. 3 of the worst football coaches I've ever heard. They're recycled losers. You have this guy, Vrabel, who's a great coach. You get rid of him. And to Bob Kraft's credit, he looked right and go, oh my God, I know this guy. This guy's from our culture. This guy has Super Bowl rings. And we bring him in, and you get rid of Mayo, which is a tough decision. You get the quarterback. Not a lot of owners would do that. So you got to give him credit. That's why it's all connected, Brandon. Why isn't this one giant dynasty when the coach was part of the dynasty and the owner's there? If you can answer that, then I'll give you credit.
I think it's crazy you're trying to make it one big dynasty. Why not just say you're starting a second dynasty? That sounds way better.
No, it's one big dynasty. It's just like when the Patriots with Brady won early, got in new players, still one dynasty. It's one mega dynasty. It's like you're a Star Wars guy, Bob.
Yep.
If you blow up the first Death Star and the second Death Star comes back, it's still the Empire.
Yeah, and then eventually it's like Star Killer Base. This is a Star Killer Base era.
And they're all the Empire.
It's very well. No, I mean it's really dumb, but I've said it all year long, right? In Rise of Skywalker, they say somehow Palpatine returned. Somehow, to your point, the Patriots have returned. And what's crazy to me is how similar it looks to the early Brady days. Like, I know you're not a big analytics guy, but if you look at the defensive performances that have been turned in these 2 playoff games, they are as good, if not better, than anything, even going back to Ty Law in those early 2000 games. In fact, Brady's first 5 playoff games, the defense did not allow more than 17 points. Here Drake May sits, 2 performances under 17 by the defense. They're helping prop up their young quarterback. And then if you're telling me that, like, okay, the problem is we need Drake May to come on a little bit, that's a pretty good place to be when he's played at an MVP level all year.
And I'm going to tell you, for all you people who follow me on social media, Stu Presidente, speaking of Star Wars, I got my team building some pretty impressive pump-up videos, maybe alluding to the fact that the Empire is back. So be on the lookout. And then you look at the decision, Milton Williams. I mean, come on. How does Philly let him leave the building? Just everything we do here in New England top shelf, top class, and we're back. And we're
and Dave, I want to ask you about something that's a little close to the team that you probably don't know about unless you really follow the Patriots, and that's play caller, the defensive coordinator, Zach Kerr. So at the beginning of the year, Terrell Williams, right? He's at DC. He gets diagnosed with cancer.
Yep.
Kerr gets thrust into this role. He's never called plays on the NFL, and now he seems to be as dialed in as anybody in the entire league.
Yeah, and they were blitzing a lot more than I ever saw yesterday. And I actually thought they gave a couple plays against the blitz, but they're just all playing as a unit. It goes back to everything from the D coordinator to McDaniel to the head coach to the quarterback to the defensive backs to everything. This is a team game. This is a team game. You have to cover for yourselves. Everyone rows together. There's a favorite quote I have from Bill Belichick. If we're all wrong together, we can still be right. And this team is just playing as a unit. And I know we've only talked about one game, and there's other games we got to get to. I'm sorry to the world if I'm excited. My team is in the mix. We're getting ready to go to the Super San Francisco. I've been all these teams. I look across the board. We've already beaten the Rams twice in the Super Bowl. Seattle brings up Malcolm Butler memories. I've already been to San Francisco, standing reservation at House of Prime Rib. It's all coming back. All of it is coming back. I've done it all. I've been there. I thought there was a chance. I've said, if we never win another Super Bowl, it was still worth it, that run we had. And look what we're doing. We're gearing up for another one. 4 Super Bowls minimum. You have Josh Allen, who has never been to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has never been to a Super Bowl.
That Belichick quote was the dumbest quote ever said.
Okay. No, we can break it down. No, hold on.
Here it isn't. We made T-shirts. We sold 1 million of them.
No chance we sold 1 million of those shirts.
Yes, we did. You wouldn't even have a salary.
Another Bills heartbreak. The Bills, the first team in NFL history to make 6 divisional rounds in a row and not play for a Super Bowl.
Haley Steinfeld, she's going to have to start watching what she's saying. The Bills and their 3 stepsisters or whatever.
I thought she was a Broncos.
All right, coming up next.
I thought she was a Broncos fan.
We still got to have the C.J. Stroud conversation. A lot more to get to. Coming up next, Greg Olsen, John Gruden, the G-Spot.
Is she not a Broncos fan?
Get ready to lock in, y'all. It is once again time for John Gruden, Greg Olsen, and the Football G-Spot.
I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me, everybody.
Can I finish my point?
All right, welcome, Greg and Coach. We're talking a little bit before. I just said, can you believe it? One contiguous dynasty. Both had a little smirk on their face. And now I get, Coach, we've already talked about the Patriots a lot. And I know we've done that exercise throughout this show. Can they win the Super Bowl? I can't remember. I may have been the only one saying this is a complete team. Watch out for this team. But I've seen a lot of winning, and I don't want to get dragged down into this. C.J. Stroud, terrible. So you would have benched him, Coach, at halftime? Would you have brought Davis Mills in?
I can't say I would have done that. I might have. I mean, obviously, on the very first play of the game, he threw a duck 5 yards behind a wide open receiver. The conditions bothered him. Maybe he should have wore a glove on his hand. I don't know, but the ball placement was terrible. I thought the play selection, 2 of the interceptions, they ran naked bootlegs to his left in horrible weather, and it resulted in 2 interceptions, but they couldn't run the ball either, Dave. Woody Marks, 14 carries, 17 yards, a fumble. They had nobody to throw to, nobody to hand it to, and he couldn't throw in bad weather, and the Patriots beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, before I get to Greg, I did have this. I almost forgot. This is someone just sent it unsolicited. At DJ1 Don. Tomorrow on Wake Up Barstool, Stu Presidente, can you ask Barstool Gruden if he gets nightmares watching the Pats win playoff games in the snow? Thank you for your attention to this matter. So I do want to ask you, did any flashbacks?
I really do. I had flashbacks of you being a little kid, high-fiving all your little friends up there after that tuck rule display. But you gotta be honest, Greg. Dave has the upper hand right now. I mean, the Patriots, nobody in America thought they would be in the AFC Championship game. Nobody. And they are on top of 15 wins right now, brother.
Greg,
Week 18, I'm calling the Pats game up in Foxborough against the Dolphins. And I can't remember exactly, but I would say it was sometime in the first half. We go to a commercial break. I got a message on my phone. I open it. It's Portnoy. Have you ever seen, it was something along the lines of like, have you ever seen a better team in your life? And like, I didn't respond in the moment, but I will say, and Dave, you can attest, I did text him. I said, I might rethink after a week of studying them. I might actually reset my, can they win it? Are they good enough? After studying them in week 18 for the first time, did I think they were going to win the Super Bowl? I don't know if I'd go that far. But their defense was so much better. All the talk about Drake May and all the talk about MVP, their defense was so much better than I think I thought they were going to be. And I think when you look at yesterday's game, as bad as Stroud was and as disastrous as decision-making, ball placement, I mean, that was as bad of an offensive display as I've maybe ever seen, especially given the moment. The Patriots defense, outside of Gonzalez, is like sneaky, unheralded, very good players that a lot of people have never heard of, and they deserve a lot of credit.
I think they should thank the Raiders, Dave. I mean, hell, the best tackler they have is Robert Spillane. Their best pass rusher is Chason. He ruined the game. And they bring in Mumford as their jumbo tight end. So as much as you hate the Raiders, you should thank them.
I don't hate the Raiders. I wasn't even born when we were struggling with the Raiders. I have nothing but great memories with the Raiders. That's really the birth of our dynasty. So I have nothing against the Raiders. Al Davis, silver and black. You got to go back to when was it Lyle Alzado punched Sullivan in the face, but I wasn't alive for those days. The other game in the AFC, the Bills and the Broncos, spectacular game, unbelievable ending. Josh Allen clearly didn't have his best game. A stat that we've talked about, which would be surreal, is if Drake goes to the Super Bowl before Josh. The call, the refs, that was what a lot of people were talking about. I am still wildly confused on what a catch is, what a catch isn't. There was a play in the Bears game yesterday that, to me, and I've gone back and forth, is the same exact general rule. Like, you catch it, you go down, a guy has a hand on it, rips it out. Greg, you played football a long time, you call the games. Did you know what happened here?
Yeah, so it's super tricky, and the catch has been redefined 100 times. They've added football moves. They've added when going to the ground as opposed to not going to the ground. I am as big of a Josh Allen guy, as big of a Bills guy. Love McDermott. It's just by the letter of the law. Now, you want to debate that the rule's stupid, I would totally support that. But letter of the law, it's just not a catch, right? You're going to the ground. If that ball would have been ripped out and landed on the ground, it would have been ruled incomplete. So if that's the case, you have to award the defender the possession, because as long as he's going to the ground catching the ball, he does not complete that catch until he is completely through the fall and through the ground. So therefore, he's not.
But isn't that play we just showed? Isn't that because if that ball is
which one, the Bills one?
Devontae Adams. If that ball is ripped out, can you see on the screen? Does that work? Do we have that technology?
Yeah, play it.
If this ball is ripped out, it's an incomplete pass, I believe, because he doesn't have it long enough here. He gets it. If that's ripped out, they're going to say that's incomplete.
Yeah, so the determination there is, and that's why it's so subjective, is when he catches that ball and does that is there a football move completed? Is he down? Like, it's all about the process of going. Now, the difference there is he's not going to the ground as he catches the ball. Again, I'm not defending the rules.
So I think if that ball hits the ground, I think they review that and be like, he didn't make a football move. He just caught it and got hit instantly. That's what confuses me. Like,
it's very confusing. The going to the ground thing.
I was against the Buffalo, and then I'm like, I agree with you. I was like, if that ball got ripped out and landed on the ground in Buffalo, they would have said incomplete. But I'm almost positive if that ball hit the ground and Devontae Adams, they would have said incomplete. And by the way, the Rams went and scored a touchdown on that drive. So it's just very confusing.
So I was actually part of the Calvin Johnson play that started all of this. Way back, I was in Chicago at home against the Lions. Calvin Johnson caught in the back of the end zone what we thought was going to be the game winning for them, game losing for us. Catches it clean, going to the ground. He puts the ball on the ground. He stands up without the ball, and it was an incomplete. That started this whole what is a catch going to the ground. And I don't think anyone has done a great job, right? Subjectivity of third step, football move, going to the ground as opposed to not going to the ground. It has muddied the waters tremendously. I think that rule, that should be a catch, but by the law, by the letter of the law, in the Bills game, I'm saying, by the letter of the law, it's just not.
Coach, what do you do for your McDermott? McDermott said, I'm standing up for Buffalo. I'm not quite sure what that meant exactly, but.
I think his big complaint was the play did not go to review. And I think he would have felt better. I think everybody would have felt better if we got a thorough explanation. I mean, that's a game-winning catch, a game-winning potential play, and we never really got the explanation. I was at Monday Night Football broadcast in the Packers against the Seahawks when Tate and Jennings simultaneously caught that Hail Mary pass. You remember that, where both guys were battling over the ball, and we had a riot in the streets, man. I mean, it was absolutely chaos. But I think the big thing here, I thought Greg said it perfectly regarding the Brandon Cooks play. I think in these situations, somebody has to stand in front of America and tell us why you ruled the play like you ruled it, because that was really disappointing to just move on from a game-changing ending play.
And that's the NFL control, because I don't know if you guys have seen, I believe it's the ACC. When they have a review, they plug you into the command center. You can literally hear the people in the review going over it. Now, the NFL is cloak and daggers. I don't think they're ever going to do that. And, there was an element, I don't know if there's truth. I think they said they want to keep the game sped up a little bit because you have the other game that started. So and I don't, again, who knows, because they're not giving you the answers. The Bears game last night, Caleb Williams makes some of the best plays you're ever going to see, some of the worst plays you're ever going to see. How are you feeling, Coach? If you're a Bears fan right now, you got your heart ripped out, and who knows when you'll be back, or will you be back, because you got the coach and you're probably all screwed up about the field goals, right? This is two guys sitting here, field goals analytics. A lot of people saying it bit them. What do you think?
Well, you got to feel good about your season, but you're never going to forget the outcome of this game. You've got the ball at midfield, early downs, and you throw an interception. They say it's a miscommunication, whatever it was. You just don't get these opportunities at home in the weather that you hope for. Momentum is in your favor, and to lose a game like this is backbreaking. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. If you turn the ball over, Greg will tell you this, every coach presents the turnover ratio every week to his team. When you turn it over 3 times against Matt Stafford and he turns it over 0, you're going to lose. That's why Buffalo lost. That's why the 49ers lost. And that's why the Texans lost. Turnovers. They absolutely kill you in these kinds of games.
So the last game we didn't get to, and to be honest, I watched 5 seconds of it, because you go watch this unbelievable game in Denver and the Bills, and then it's just a massacre with the Seahawks and the 49ers. Are the Seahawks a super team, Greg, in your mind, or is this wide open 14? Well, I don't know what you think of the Broncos without Bo, but is this wide open in your mind?
Yeah, I thought for probably the back half of the season, I thought Seattle and the Rams, I always thought were the 2 best teams, not only just in the NFC. I thought they were the 2 best teams competing in the entire playoffs on both sides. I felt that way down the stretch. I think Seattle is the best combination of, they're the Houston defense with a better offense, right? I think that Seattle offense that Seattle defense that McDonald is built the way modern defenses should be built. Small people don't give up chunk plays, play coverage, play everything top down, yet nobody can run the ball an inch, even though there's nobody around, there's no heavy boxes, there's no big plug-in linebackers. They're playing 5 DBs, 6 DBs. It's a very that to me is like the modern style of how everyone wishes they could play. No one does it as well as Seattle. And then they're explosive, right? That run game, the under center, the play pass, the play action. They've been killing people with it all year. Darnold's played. You got to give Darnold a ton of credit. He wins 14 games last year in Minnesota. Then obviously they lose in the playoffs and everyone jumps off the bandwagon. Seattle believes in him. They let Geno go. They bring him in and he has them a game away from the Super Bowl. So I still think Seattle is the most well-rounded team of the group. I think San Francisco just ran into a buzzsaw, depleted personnel-wise, kind of limping into a game against a team that was rested at home in probably the hardest stadium to play in the NFL. You return the opening kick and that thing felt over. So I think the fact that San Francisco even got there is a miracle. But yeah, I think Seattle, of the 4 teams left, I think they're the best. But again, none of that matters. You only got to win one game.
All right, I got one last question for each of you. I'm going to start with you, Coach. You are a Sean Payton friend. I've met him with you a few times. We're going in there, as you can see. You hate to see a starting quarterback get hurt. And I'm one of those guys, I want your best shot. So it was devastating news for me to hear that he wouldn't be there. Jared Stidham, former Patriot. Sean Payton, what's he going to do here to coach this guy up? Do you think the Broncos have a chance in this game? They opened at, I think they were going to be 3.5-point favorites. They're now 5.5-point underdogs. That's a gigantic swing. What will he do with Stidham?
It's a challenge. I remember when Rich Gannon got hurt for me in the game against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. When you got to go to your backup quarterback with no playing experience in some time, this is tough. But if anybody can do it, it's the Denver Broncos. It's not like the Patriots played error-free. They gave up 5 sacks. They had 3 turnovers. They only had 250 yards. So I think Sean Payton's going to count on his system. They're going to have to throw the ball to win because nobody runs the ball against the Patriots. And I don't think Denver runs the ball very good, but he's going to have to trust his defense, stay away from turnovers, and be very creative as he was against Buffalo. Nobody talks about this, Dave. As soon as the corner, Tre'Davious White, got hurt, Sean Payton went right after Dane Jackson touchdown. And as soon as their safety man got hurt, they bring in Darnell Savage. He gets little Jordan Humphrey up there for a double move. So Sean Payton and his staff are going to be, I think, outstanding managing this game. They've got to trust their defense, stay away from turnovers, and be very selective with the shots that they take because they do have some really good players and scheme opportunities against the Patriots, I think.
All right, Greg, you're all dolled up here. It's Monday, national championship Monday for you. Give us the thoughts on Miami, Indiana. Big underdogs, 8.5, I think, at this point.
7.
Says 8.5 on the screen,
Yeah.
Walker.
Well, it's late. 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's been underdogs, I feel like, this entire postseason. I think we were double-digit versus Ohio State. I don't think anybody even thought we were going to get past A&M. So the fact that we've gone A&M, Ohio State, Ole Miss, I think we're tested. Listen, this Indiana team is not just winning, they're bludgeoning people. I mean, they're beating significant programs and significant teams by a million, it feels like. So obviously it's a huge challenge. Mendoza's the Heisman Trophy winner. I'd argue he's even better. He's been better in the playoffs than he even was in the regular season. I think Cignetti's a stud. So I think it's a huge challenge, but I'm happy for the school. I mean, just being down in Miami for a day or so, just the environment, the school, the alumni, just the city itself has been craving moments like this for 20 years. Miami last played in a national championship my senior year in high school. We lost to Ohio State. So it's been a long time. And, just as alumni, my wife and I both went there, just excited to be able to bring the kids and experience, because you never know when you get it again. But Mario's a friend, and I think he's going to have him ready to rock. And
So
I don't care what the spread is.
Sideline? Are you going to be on the sideline? No.
I'll be up in the stands.
Got it.
Good on this. I'm good on the sideline.
Well, you were there last game, weren't you? I thought.
Yeah, I just went down for the pregame to say hi to everybody. I watched the game from upstairs.
Got it. I didn't know if you're going to mix it up with Michael Irvin at all.
Mike's got it under control. Michael's got it under control.
Coach, what prediction for tonight?
Well, my dad coached running backs for Indiana for 5 years, so deep down I'm rooting for the Hoosiers. I think it's going to be a lot tighter football game than people think about. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think Indiana wins by a field goal, but I will say this about my assistant, Jake Malasek. He put $100 on the Canes a while ago. He gets paid a lot of money if Miami comes through tonight with the win.
All right. Well, I appreciate both of you guys. Hopefully next week when we talk to you, you want to hear a crazy stat? I started Barstool in 2003. If we win this next game, it will be our 10th Super Bowl since 2003. 10th Super Bowl.
Coach, the we stuff. I know he's a diehard fan. The we stuff is
no, don't get me
Well,
out.
let me say this, Greg.
Without no we, there's no you. Without no we, there is no you.
He'd still be
You hear
him.
Olsen saying we
Yes,
on the Hurricanes?
Do we have to
Both of
clip
you guys.
Belichick, Brady?
but I played him.
That's true. I'll
There's
give you
no-
that. I'm sorry, Greg. I apologize to you.
There's without any we.
No,
there's
I'm
no
fine.
you.
Maybe I shouldn't have said we. I'll take that. I'll retract that. I guess it's more of like no one understands playoff football more than me.
Yes.
Stop.
You know what's really scary about this is
It's
we got to
true.
go to the Super Bowl
Stop.
for Barstool. We got to go up there for 5 days. And if
Yeah.
New England's in the Super Bowl,
Yeah, no
can you
kidding.
imagine having to deal with this guy for 5 straight
Yes.
days?
I'll
I've done it.
introduce you to the
I've
whole
done it.
town.
I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
my
he's
God.
done it. It's a New England family reunion. We plan our cast. Some people go February vacation to Florida. There was a time when the Patriots, when you lived in New England, you took your family vacation wherever the Super Bowl was for that week. It was automatic. Let the other cities go on their February break, their April vacation. No, we got to save vacation days for the first week in February. That's 10 Super Bowls since 2003.
play the damn commercial.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you both there, hopefully. San Francisco, House of Prime Ribs, standing reservation.
There it is, guys. The football G-spot. Shout out to Coach Gruden, Greg Olsen stopping by, giving us some excellent football insight. Coming up next, a lot more to get to from these NFL playoffs. Natty talk as well. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Let's continue to recap this weekend full of NFL playoffs before we get to the college football national championship coming up tonight. One game we haven't really touched on as much yet. Broncos beat the Bills 33-30 in overtime. And, they lose Bo Nix. And there's a lot to get to from the Denver perspective here. But if we're just talking storylines and narratives, Dave, Brandon, I feel like this conversation has to start with Josh Allen and more heartbreak for the Buffalo
The
Bills.
world will never open up for Josh Allen again the way it did this year. It will never open up. Mahomes is going to be there probably in the future. Lamar Jackson, like all these other good quarterbacks will be there. And listen, he would have had to go to New England next week, but he knows he can win there. He's won there before. And the fact that he turns the ball over 4 times, that fumble before the half, what is he doing? What is a veteran quarterback who's playing for a Super Bowl doing when he does that? This was an awful performance. He misses this is all the turnovers.
Yep.
This is
on the heels of a big-time pick by the defense.
But this isn't even showing you the fact that he missed a wide open touchdown to win the game in the last drive of regulation. Like, he missed everything.
Well, and he had the screen to Shakir.
First of
which
all,
bounced
you're
off the
patently
ground.
wrong. It wasn't wide open. It was still a big roadblock called the New England Patriots. That's besides the point. Josh Allen has played virtually perfect playoff football through his entire career and has still lost. I mean, they changed the overtime rules against Kansas City because, he didn't get to even see the ball. He gave him the lead with 13 seconds. So he played poorly. He played very un-Josh-like, Josh Allen-like. You need him to be Superman. He was not in that, especially to me, the play at the end of the first half, which cost him a field goal. That's as much on McDermott as Allen. I don't know. There's no time to do anything. What do you think he's going to do? If you complete a pass, you're out of time. You run. So that's crazy. So I'm not going to read too much. He had a bad game. It's his first one. The city of Buffalo, they are the bigger story. The fans of Buffalo. Now, there's a city that has nothing. I don't know what they're doing right now, but I guarantee you there's 8 feet of snow on the ground. And I haven't looked at the forecast. I guarantee you there is. They live, breathe, die with this team. They're some of the best fans, not only in football, in all of sports. This country, soccer, whatever. This is their team. Sabres haven't been good forever. They're okay this year. The way they lose every single year, it seems, is so unfathomably graphic and gruesome. I said, I think this franchise is the biggest loser franchise in sports. They obviously famously lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yep.
They can't advance passes around. They're losing in ways. And it's one thing to lose. You have teams, that stink. The Detroit Lions, they stink. They're never there. But this is a different type of lose. It's like the Red Sox before they won the World Series. When you get to the cusp and keep finding, inventing ways to get your hearts ripped out, whether it's you're arguing a call that you legit think's wrong, a pass interference, 13 seconds, not getting a QB sneak they can't get half an inch against Kansas City.
Yep.
This is the greatest loser franchise, I think, in American sports. I've never seen. I'm trying to think, maybe the Leafs, but I don't think they get there. Who else can contend with this type of misery and heartbreak than the Buffalo Bills? And then it's just going to be so depressing and gray and cold. It's horrible. I feel for these people. I feel for the people of Buffalo. I'll try to avenge them. I'll try to get my 7th. But my God,
That'll make them feel better.
I don't know if that's gonna.
What a brutal existence. And I'm not even being like, a lot of times they're like, Dave, you're laying on thick. Euphemism. I think everything I just said there, if anything, I'm not laying it on thick enough.
Again, the losing with 13 seconds to the Chiefs a couple of years ago when Josh Allen was Superman, and then you're right. Last year they couldn't get an inch with a 6'4" quarterback who runs for 5 yards at a clip. It's just
dropped
and
balls.
And now this year, and we talked about the
McMillan Cooks play.
We talked about the one interception, the Brandon Cooks play. The fact that on the final drive they gave up 53 yards on pass interference penalties.
Yeah.
And refs, I thought in all 4 games this week were letting them play. They were letting them play. They were letting contact happen. And then all of a sudden in the final drive, they are ticky-tack and they're calling every little thing. And Bo Nix is just throwing the ball straight up in the air and underthrowing it, and he still gets rewarded. Buffalo's they're cursed. They're cursed.
Do you have any other teams? Is there any other franchise that even can be remotely as depressing to be a fan of?
Well, there's powers, there's levels of losing, right? There's losing all the time and never getting there, like the Dolphins and like the Jets. They lose all the time and they can't do anything. Buffalo is close, and Buffalo has the quarterback.
That's way worse.
Well, but
that's worse.
But that's
way worse.
That's where it gets even worse, though, is that Buffalo fans have experienced both. They lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, a mathematical anomaly in its own right. Then they went through 20 years of being the Lions. They went through 20 years of being god-awful, and now they're the first team in NFL history to lose 6 times.
Who's that old coach? Who's the Marv Levy?
Marv Levy.
Or, sorry,
Marv Levy
6 divisionals now playing.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Marv Levy.
Yeah, Marv Levy has that quote from some old soldier. He's like, I've been slain. I'm laying down. I'm just going to lay down and bleed a little bit, but I will get up to fight again. That's really Buffalo. I don't know what to say. They're a division rival. I look at them like my little brother Johnny, and you just one time, Johnny, get the ball up the hill all the way, and now you have the Patriots back. You had this. You want to talk about a window that opened and closed? Never mind Mahomes. Yeah. The Patriots are a non-factor in this division. Now you have King Kong, who has reincarnated. So it's the Terminator when all the Jello, whatever that stuff comes back together and rebuilds. Jello. Well, now we have a younger, maybe better quarterback. We have a better team. We have a culture of winning, and now you got to go through us. Oh, it's horrible.
Okay. So real quick though, because we got a couple minutes left in this segment, we got to talk about the 1 seed, the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix making plays throughout this game, finding a way to get it done. The Broncos defense remains on a bit of fraud watch, I would say, but the big news here, Bo Nix breaking his ankle, one of the last plays of the game, rolling out to his left, design quarterback run, really bad luck. And now Jarrett Stidham enters the picture. I'll say this. Sean Payton, this is an awful hand for anybody to be dealt.
Terrible.
But if you look at Sean Payton and how he's handled backup quarterbacks, if anybody can do it, I believe Sean Payton's going to give it the best college try.
It's just brutal. You hate to see it.
He hasn't taken a snap this year, T-Bob.
I know.
But the Pats have struggled in the past versus backup quarterbacks in big games. Like
Hey,
Nick Foles
but
Nick
look, but
Foles,
Dave
listen,
doesn't have
Nick
any
Foles-
film on him.
Nick
Dave's on the
Foles did
film.
that tweet.
Yeah,
It was a little disingenuous. He played quite a few games before the Super Bowl. He was great, and I always said Philadelphia fans should be embarrassed. They ran him out of the city in favor of Carson Wentz. So that was a cute little tweet, but you absolutely hate to see it.
Do you?
Yeah,
Wait,
hey-
show me your shirt, Dave. Explain the shirt here.
So we have over
you go,
here
outside there.
black stripe as though there was a death in the family, and there was for the Broncos, and then Bo. I don't know if you can once you say Bo, and then a heartbreak. So I'm showing solitude with the Broncos. Their quarterback, he had a great season. I thought it was a prank when I heard that he broke his ankle. It was out, and it's just devastating. As I tweeted out before we played the Texans, as a Patriot fan, we always want the best. I was devastated Nico Collins couldn't play, and I'm absolutely crestfallen and heartbroken that Bo Nix is going to miss this AFC Championship game. I'm crestfallen.
He had to Google the word crestfallen, first of all. Who did you make that shirt?
Are those for sale?
Shut up, Liam.
I'm a
No,
Bo
you
Nix-
wouldn't.
It
Nobody
kind of
would buy
has,
that.
it kind
I'm
of
a
has
Bo
a
Nix
designer
guy.
T-shirt look a little bit, dude. Whoever made that.
What happened is I went to my local hardware store and bought some black duct tape. I tried to write on the duct tape, wouldn't work, so I had to adjust. And I just want to let the world know, and Denver fans, we're with you. We are with you. I wish he was out there. He's not.
So just in case anybody's keeping track at home, Buffalo fans, Dave is there for you. He feels for you. He's going to try to avenge you in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Denver fans, Dave also stands right next to you, and he will try to avenge you in the Super Bowl as well. So I'm sure both Denver and Buffalo's fan base is very thankful to you, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it stinks. You want everyone's best shot. That's what being a Patriot is all about in every sense of the word. So
Now, okay, as you stated multiple times in the show, nobody knows playoff football better than you. Nobody's watched more playoff football better than you.
Stop saying that to him.
Well, I'm trying to
That's a
set him
fact.
up here. So he likes to get in the film room, okay? So what is your analysis telling you about this Denver Bronco team without Bo Nix? Is the defense good enough? Well, the Patriots offense has looked okay these last couple of games.
No, listen, I if Drake May protects the football, which this is not a strength of his, he's very loose, and he's putting the ball on the ground versus the team. That was the only way the Texans had a chance. If he protects the football, I don't think the Broncos have a chance. Our defense, as Greg was saying, is so underrated. And T-Bob, you brought a great point. It reminds the early Super Bowl teams. Denver's shorthand. They can win. You want to say Seattle's a tough place to play. Denver's right there with Seattle. Two of the toughest places to play in the league. The Patriots have struggled there traditionally, even in our prime. So, of course, Denver can win. I think the line is too much. I would have made Pick'em. We don't look past anybody. That's how you win 6 Super Bowls. You don't take a day off. You don't take anybody for granted. Yes, we wish that Bo Nix was healthy. He's not, but this is going to be a great game.
Brandon, I forgot as well. Dave also tweeting after the game last night that he's doing it for his Barstool brethren in Chicago also.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah, let's not forget.
Every single fan base out there that lost, that didn't get a free run to the Super Bowl like the Patriots.
Yes.
Can we talk about how dumb the phrase free run to the Super Bowl is? It honestly, if you say it, you should be electrocuted on the spot. That is how dumb saying some team got a free run to the Super Bowl.
I'm probably going to say it a lot more.
Especially when it's a guy who hasn't been to a Super Bowl since 1979. Is that the last time the Dolphins? Like, what do you mean a free run? If everyone could get to 10 Super Bowls in 20 years, they'd do it.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool, hour number 2. We've been diving deep on the NFL playoffs, and let's keep it rolling as we haven't really touched on. I mean, we're in Chicago, here at Barstool Sports headquarters in Chicago, and we haven't touched on the Bears, man. I just moved to the city a few months ago. It was a magical season. One of those seasons just fun to watch from afar. Everybody in church, everybody around town, everybody's so happy. Bear weather yesterday. Caleb Williams comes up with the magic yet again with one of the wildest, most physics-defining throws that I've ever seen, only to come up just short in overtime. I think here's where it starts with the Bears, or maybe not where it starts. I'll ask you guys, though. Do you believe in the future of this Bears team, or will they look back and be like, this is as close as we gotten?
They will look back with regret because they did get close, but you have your quarterback. You have your coach. I don't know how you can't be excited about the future. Yes, this sucks. And yes, maybe 5 years from now, this was their only chance, but right now, you have to be excited about the future.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've become a believer in Caleb. Now, he's young. You got to get rid of these interceptions and the turnovers because that will get you beat. But he clearly has that it factor when you need a magic play. The coach proved himself. I have no problem with foregoing field goals. That's what you do. That's what your philosophy. Kind of live by the sword, die by the sword. But they had him. I mean, you watch that game. I really didn't understand why they were 4.5-point underdogs going into that game. You knew it was going to be freezing cold. Rams coming across the country. That, to me, those teams, they play on that field in that weather 100 times. I think the Bears get them at half. Like this was a coin toss. They're saying miscommunication on the last interception throw, but you're right there. You think you're going down the field. If you stop a team in overtime first, and you get the ball, you're in your head. You're like, this game's over.
Well,
like you've done the job.
Well, and he's driving, right? Yeah. Exactly. He had the big third down conversion, the big fourth down conversion. Like Caleb was just nails. To me, the bigger thing Caleb needs to work on is not the final interception. Like, again, I think that was DJ Moore kind of thinking he was out of the play, not bending it underneath the safety like he probably should have, like Caleb was expecting him to. It's the play before, where I can't remember who he missed, but it was a little out route. It would have been a first down. And it's the problem that's kind of been Caleb's issue all year long is he does the reality bending plays that don't make any sense, like that last touchdown throw, 55 yards in the air off his back foot. But then the easy stuff somewhat still eludes him at times.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this. Sean McVay and everyone, boy genius, when he ran the ball on 3rd and 10, and I think the clock was at like 2:07.
2:07, yeah.
The 2-minute warning absolutely was not a factor, like whether you throw or run because it was going to get caught up in the wash of the kick and everything. That was one of the stranger calls because you can ice the game with the first down. You have Matt Stafford, who clearly you have to trust is not going to put the ball in harm's way. You end up running a give-up play, take it to 2-minute warning, punt, give the Bears the ball at midfield. That was the worst coaching call I saw all weekend. Yeah. That was shocking, that call. He got away with it, and they're not going to talk about it. But what the heck was that?
Also have the most dependable receiver in the league, Puka Nacua. When they needed 3rd and 4 in overtime, they went straight to Nacua. He caught it. If they do that in regulation, it never gets to overtime. I have no idea why he did what he did.
Yeah, it's really hard to justify. Even if you say things like, "Oh, well, you trust the defense." Well, you kind of can trust the defense in both scenarios, right? Like,
yes.
Like you should have gone for the win there. He does get away with it. By the way,
I'm not sold on the Rams. The Rams. I'm not sold on. There's 3 teams that can win the Super Bowl right now: Rams, Seahawks, Patriots. There's no great team. Like the Rams haven't been great down there. I thought the Bears could win the Super Bowl.
Can I push back on one thing?
Yeah.
And it's something Dave just said, and it's fine that whatever. But Ben Johnson in this game, he had 2 chances to take points in the first half.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. You're in the snow. You're in 0-degree weather. Points are going to be at a premium. This isn't just Ben Johnson, but it's every NFL coach. Why have we decided we're no longer taking
Brandon, you bring that up. He did go for on 4th and goal later in the game and got it.
Yeah.
Fine, that's fine. Meek, shut up.
Math didn't work out,
Meek.
Math didn't work out.
Listen, every NFL coach now has gone with this analytics thing, and we're not going. Sometimes taking points is okay. Sometimes
I'll tell you my bigger issue, Walker. You have 4th and 1, and I would say, at least visually, Caleb Williams seems to be the fastest guy on the field.
Yeah.
I certainly would not just hand the ball up the middle. I would let him decide and say, hey, if nothing's there, you're faster than everybody else. He did it in overtime.
Yeah.
Just explode for 1 yard. I hate 4th and 1, we're just going to hand up the middle when you have that guy at quarterback.
I also don't understand why Caleb's legs aren't a bigger part of the game plan. He reacts with his legs, he drops back to pass, and he'll make a decision on the fly, but they never use his legs really as part of the game plan going forward. And he had that one play in the second half where he shakes a guy. He shakes a linebacker and ends up getting 15 yards or something. Like, I don't know why that isn't part of the regular game plan for the big.
He seems way faster than everybody else. The only thing I can think, like when you look at Josh Allen, where they're mixing in 5 to 8 almost design runs. Josh Allen's huge. Caleb is not. But I do think you have to shift.
Yeah.
Don't do it in the regular season, but in the playoffs, I would have some design runs for him. I mean, he's so much faster than everybody else.
Yeah.
Liam?
Dave just said exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe is it a holdover from like designing this offense around Jared Goff for years? Maybe you're not going to throw it in late. Who knows how much they practice it? But it would certainly be something that you would think you could explore a bit more, or maybe have loaded up going into next season. So.
Great playoff crowd, by the way, from Chicago. You could absolutely hear a pin drop when they were on offense. Loud, super loud on defense. And we're based in Chicago. You guys are there. We got a lot of Bear fans. I hope they get back there. I know nobody knows how hard it is to get to that point more than me. I've seen it and done it so many times. You take it for granted. It is not easy, like Walker said. It is not a free roll of Super Bowl. His team, Walker's team, he's saying free roll of Super Bowl. We did it break. He hasn't been the Dolphins 40 plus years.
It's apparently the easiest thing in the world. You guys have done it 10 times since 2003. You blew your first round pick.
Guys, we can't go down the Patriots road again. We can't go. Don't get sucked in.
Contiguous dynasty.
Don't get sucked in.
It's not one long dynasty. It's not one long dynasty.
Kind of lost in this as well.
Dynasty.
Credit to a Bears defense. I know the weather helped, but credit to a Bears defense that has been pretty bad and was absolutely nails this game when they needed them most. But again, the Rams win. The question is, how much do the Rams have left in the tank? Because this feels like a team that should be exhausted at this point. They kind of struggled down the end of the season. And then if you compare them to Seattle, Seattle's been chilling. They've been dominating teams. They haven't had to leave home. Rams have been flying all over the country. They're in 4-quarter overtime dogfights, leaving it all on the road. Like, I feel like the Seahawks enter this game with a significant rest advantage.
Well, they do. That was a yawner the other night against the 49ers. They were playing a depleted team, and now they're playing a team who has put it all out there 2 weeks in a row with a 37-year-old quarterback. But familiarity is sometimes a bridge here. Like they played twice already. The Rams know they can beat them. There's no doubt about that.
It's kind of similar to Bears-Packers, right, where the Packers had dominated the majority of the two games, even though it was split 1-1. I think that's very similar to Rams-Seahawks. And for Sam Darnold, the Rams have been his boogeyman. I mean, last year they dominated him in the playoffs. This year it's the only time where he's really just turned the ball over a ton and looked poorly. So this is kind of Sam Darnold's biggest enemy coming back at his biggest moment once again.
I have a trivia question for Walker, speaking of the Seahawks.
Okay, this definitely means Austin, your assistant, has a trivia question for me, but go ahead.
It is not from Austin. He has absolutely no idea.
All right, continue.
The question would be, who do you think sent me this text at 10:52 p.m. on Saturday? We need a Pats versus Seahawks Super Bowl. You can hype up the Pats for 2 weeks and ride it if they win. And if Seattle happens to win, you can play sometimes you just get beat by a Michigan man, Mike McDonald.
I don't know. Who sent it to you?
Connor Stallions.
Yep. That's. I had two guesses. Ben Mintz and Connor Stallions.
And he sent me a picture of his dad wearing Patriots and Seahawks gear.
Why does Connor Stallions' dad wear Patriots and Seahawks gear?
Well, obviously the Patriots, Tom Brady, and then you got Mike McDonald, Michigan man, Seattle.
All right.
Or you
Scouting the
teams.
teams.
Be prepared. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got to blend into the crowd when you're scouting the opposite team.
You got to have everybody's uniform.
I'm going to go ahead and call my shot here. I do think the Rams are out of gas here. I think the Seahawks are too locked in. I think being at home, they're too overwhelming. I think the Seahawks are actually going to handle this Rams.
I mean, obviously, this is the true Super Bowl, right? This is whoever wins this game is a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, I mean,
congratulations to them.
Good.
So I like. Listen, Seahawks.
I see two teams that I've seen a lot in the Super Bowl. I was there. Believe it or not, I was there. Malcolm Butler game, one of the greatest.
Wait, isn't this a
moments of my
piece
life?
Why wouldn't we believe that?
Isn't this
I
a
believe
piece-
that.
Isn't
And I was at the Rams game in jail, the second one. The first game, we beat the Rams when I think we were 11, 12, 13-point underdogs. I actually watched that first Super Bowl, Brady's first Super Bowl, the dynasty, the first one with my dad, because you want to talk about a different era. I said, the Patriots will never be back here. Let me drive home and watch this game with my dad. God knows when the Patriots will be back in the Super Bowl. Little did I know, well, we'd be back 10 times in the next 20 years.
Oh, wow, we're already counting it as 10 times, Dave. Are you putting
no,
the
we're
cart
not.
before the horse here?
No, I included the
Freudian
Bears
slip.
85 by accident. I am not counting this.
Okay. Good save there.
You were planning to go to Buffalo if they played, or you were planning to go to the game if it was Buffalo, New England, or you're not planning to go to Denver, are you?
No, I don't think I'm going to go Denver. I thought Buffalo, I may have to go, do my job, so to speak, and help protect the home field advantage. But I will not be going to Denver.
I believe, and maybe we could get this audio, isn't it, Dave? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Malcolm Butler Super Bowl, the day after the show that y'all did, isn't that one of the pieces of Barstool lore with your shredded voice? I think eating like chicken parm and smoking cigars and Big Cats.
Yeah.
With the squeaky voice.
It was so that Super Bowl, if I recall, that was the first post-Super Bowl party we went to. I actually threw my phone. I was so excited. The Malcolm Butler interception. I had to crawl through popcorn and find it. And then we were invited to the post party, and we showed up, and it was private. Now, you guys won't know this because I've been to so many Super Bowl post parties. It used to just be family and friends. It wasn't available to the public. Super Bowl parties now are a much bigger deal. Fans can go. It's in a big warehouse. This was before that. We show up. They said, "Do you have tickets?" We said, "No." They said, "Who invited you?" Bill Belichick. They call, "Hey, Belichick, did you invite these guys?" Yup. Golf cart into the party.
Wow.
Up. We never went to sleep. We were up all night. It was like Rick Ross, Zach Brown, the players. It's just the players. It's just you're rubbing shoulders with Brady, and it was the time of our lives. And I went to that show the next morning, and I lost my voice. I hadn't slept, and it was a hell of a game.
We gotta dig up that audio. All right, coming up next,
I've been blessed with so many great moments because of this team. Nobody should be this lucky.
Take it to break.
We still have to get to the
Nobody
college football national championship, but coming up next, Coach John Gruden rejoining the show for a little shred line. More Wake Up Barstool right here on
One
FS1.
contiguous dynasty.
You're not back yet.
Let me bet the Patriots Super Bowl next year.
I'm 35 to 1.
I got to tell you, I shredded DraftKings last night. I was 0 for 17 on these gut checks. I'm not a gambler guy. I'm not an experienced guy. But I shredded them last night with the Chicago
Go,
Bears.
Coach.
Puka had the yardage I needed. The Bears covered. I was very, very excited. First time ever, shredded them.
What have you done for me lately? Getting it done here at the end, Coach.
You know what's crazy? And Coach talked Stafford, and he had a great last drive. But, history is so fickle because really, the Rams had the ball to start overtime. They don't move it. And if you don't get Caleb Williams and DJ Moore miscommunication or puke, he never gets the ball back. It's so fickle. Now you say, oh, you can't give Stafford the ball at the end of the game. He makes that throw. He's lucky he had the ball.
My microphone must not be working. I can't hear. I don't know. Portnoy, did he say something?
Hey,
I can't hear.
Hey, Coach Gruden, I want to talk to you about the DJ Moore throw in a second, but I just got the news in my ear. Breaking news: Bills have fired Sean McDermott. What's your immediate reaction?
Well, that makes me sick. That makes me absolutely sick. I mean, I have no idea what the hell's going on in this league. They fired 10 head coaches this year. Good luck to Buffalo. And now I'm really glad they lost the game personally.
So much for sticking up for Buffalo. His whole, I'm sticking up for Buffalo. I don't like that firing. I don't think you're knocking on the doorstep. The only thing you can blame him for, but you have Josh Allen, is why you call that play. But who are you going to get better than him?
I don't think you can do much better than Sean McDermott. I mean, hell, their whole defense was beat up the whole year. Their whole D-line, their linebacking core, their secondary. You know, for them to fire Sean McDermott after a season like this, I can't say I'm surprised based on what I've seen owners do in the NFL the last several years, but this one really hits me hard. This makes me sick.
Well, and it's interesting timing because where do you go from here, right? Stefanski, we now know, going to Atlanta, Harbaugh already to New York. And, I mean, is it Joe Brady? Is it maybe because he was getting interest?
Brian Daboll.
But
can't go Daboll here.
Don't the players? I'm under the impression that the players love McDermott, and maybe I'm wrong about that. But that it seems like they like him as a coach. They play hard. You have Josh Allen's in tears at the podium. This doesn't seem to be like we don't like the guy. And maybe you look at Philadelphia, and do the players like the coach? Do the coach like the players? Seems dysfunctional. This is a team that we've gone over. You can't get a QB sneak. 13 seconds, you can't stop a field goal. You don't get the ball back. They changed the rules. Yesterday, Josh Allen has the worst game he's ever had in the play. Josh Allen has been perfect till this. He picked a bad game not to be perfect. This team is so close. You really think it's a coaching change? I don't think so either. I saw John Harbaugh get fired. He just got $20 million a year from the New York Giants. So it was a good day for Harbaugh. And I think there's going to be a lot of people out there looking at Sean McDermott now that he's available also. And let me say this. I root for a team, the New England Patriots, that's trying to go to our 10th Super Bowl since I started Barstool Sports in 20 years. Our coach, Mike Vrabel, was let go / fired by the Titans. And now they're interviewing a bunch of retreads, Nagy, Saleh, nobody even in the same stratosphere as Mike Vrabel, and they let him go. Your trash is our treasure. We're knocking on the door of Super Bowl. Sometimes you got to look inward. It's not the coach, and there's no better example really than the Titans, who the second they let this guy go have become the worst team in the NFL. And meanwhile, the team he goes to is directly responsible for making him a power. So, I don't know. That seems like that could happen at Buffalo. As long as you have Josh Allen, I guess you're not going to fade that much. But I don't know. If they get. Football takes luck. There's so many plays in the playoffs that if a ball bounces this way, if you don't have a Hall of Fame kicker kicking in a blizzard and nailing field goals and they change this rule, if you bring the football, the tuck rule, you can have guys who end up going to the Super Bowl. Instead, they're out of a job. So again, I gotta say, I don't think it's the coach. This guy could have 2 Super Bowls. It's a crazy decision.
They lost to the number 1 seed in one of the toughest places to play in overtime in a game where your all-world quarterback turned the ball over 4 times. Yeah. And the coach is the one that gets fired. This is a crazy league, man.
Yeah, Coach Gruden, do you think McDermott immediately becomes number 1 on the list for some of these teams looking for a new head coach?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, this guy's a hell of a defensive coach. He's proven he can be a great head coach. Look at his 1-loss record. Yeah. Not a lot of people have lit it up in Buffalo except for Marv Levy and Sean McDermott. And I agree with what Brandon just said. As hard as it is for me to agree with Brandon, I agree with what he just said. How in the hell do you fire this guy after that game? Are you blaming the head coach? Is that what we're saying, Buffalo? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, that is.
And honestly, you could close your eyes, squeeze them really tight, and shake and get a couple different outcomes, and the Bills are your Chiefs. They're that close and have had these battles where if literally one little thing goes the other way. And again, I don't like the way they ran the QB sneak. I thought it was stupid. They didn't push, but they're right there. They are right there.
It is crazy, right? Even though I understand why they didn't, if they call Brandon Cooks down by contact, does that mean that McDermott still has a job?
Yeah.
And that's just a wild thing to make this large of a decision based off of. Any final thoughts on McDermott? I've got a couple more questions for
Well,
Coach.
yeah, I mean, even as a fan, and we've already discussed, they're the biggest losers in sports. They are. They're the biggest loser franchise. Isn't there probably an element within that fan base that wants to win with him, that's been with the guy who suffered with you and felt every defeat, and now you just throw him to the trash? I don't know. If I was a Bills fan, I'd be like, he's been with us through all of this. Let's win with him. It'll be sweeter.
I have a bigger question than the fans. What does Josh Allen think about it? Josh Allen knows he went out there and turned the ball over 4 times.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's been through the wars with these guys. Josh Allen has been right there. He's 1-1 with McDermott. So how does he feel today?
Well, that's a question for Coach, dude, that he had to green light that. Wouldn't he? Like,
I can't imagine that. I again, until I hear what really happened, I'm not going to say too much. I do know this, Dave. You don't make emotional decisions. I remember a couple weeks ago, let's fire LaFleur. They lost a 21-3 lead. Just handle the noise for 48 hours and then make a decision. But for this to happen, bang, bang, after a dramatic loss like that, I think they're going to regret this personally, and I hope they do.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? How you don't make an emotional decision. Some said that Bisciotti and the Ravens made one when the Steelers missed a kick, but in his press conference, he was like, all that kick would have done is meant that this happened a week later. So, like, that choice is already made. I don't think you can say that about McDermott and the Bills. So that's a wild
yeah, and the
margin.
Ravens, I wouldn't have done it, but that one I can understand a little bit. They weren't knocking quite like the Bills have been knocking so loudly and seemingly right there. This was shock. I didn't even know this was on the table. This is a total shock to me that they did this.
You know, the Buffalo Bills played this whole season without any wide receivers. Yeah. And we can talk about Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that. Josh Allen had a career year. He completed 70% of his passes for 8 yards per attempt, and they have no receivers. Their linebacking core was decimated. Ed Oliver just showed up to play yesterday. And to be honest, their whole secondary was injured. They're playing their 4th-string safety. Tre'Davious White was in and out of there. Their first-round pick was hurt. Unbelievable what just transpired. I hope this is false news. Is it false news?
Doesn't appear to be.
False. It's coming from Schefter.
I came out of that Bills game thinking they were much better than the Broncos. Like, it was an abnormal. It took a very subpar Josh Allen game, which you're not going to get very often, for the Denver to squeak that game out. I'm shocked. And again, I will avenge the Buffalo fans. Hopefully the Patriots can restore order to the AFC East. But my God, what a shocking turn of events.
Well, you know what, Dave? Maybe Sean McDermott went in there and said, hey, I can't handle this anymore. I need to take a break from coaching. Perhaps there was some of that. I don't know, but we need to get some more information on this. This was a bomb that just dropped. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, this is wild. Coach Gruden, cannot thank you enough, man, every Monday. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for reacting to this. Coming up next, though, guys, college football national championships happening tonight. We're still going to touch on that. And we got Davey J. Trading Global stock up, stock down.
Sorry for that shot about the tuck rule, but it's true, Coach.
Yes, it is, man. See you, Dave.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. It is time for Davey Day Trading Global stock up, stock down. Let's start with Prez. Dave, what do you got?
So stock up, it's just me. That was the only thing I really had on stock
Davey,
up.
right side.
I hate this place.
And that just encompasses the Patriots being all the way back, knocking on the door. It's going to be tough, knocking on the door for another Super Bowl. And this a little less. Michigan, I don't know if you've been watching what they've been doing in the portal and what Whittingham has been doing, but they're loaded. Like, exactly what I wanted. Everybody from Utah, Samoa, you name it, we got them all. So it's just, my stock can't be higher. I can't be in better spirits. I go to bed like just whistling show tunes to myself every night. It's so good. Stock down. CJ Stroud, obvious. ESPN morons all picked the Texans like they've never watched football in their lives. Josh Allen, worst game of his playoff career, gets the coach fired. Stock down. Bills fans, I'm sorry. We've talked about it. I can't imagine being you. the biggest loser franchise in sports. Bills fans stock down. Rex Ryan, moron, stock down. Nick Foles making apples to oranges comparisons to get a cheap laugh on social media, stock down. Yes, we lost to a backup. He was great. Nick Foles was great. He was great for multiple games before that Super Bowl. So stock down on that one. Steve Che. This clip.
Oh, the clip's bad. Yeah.
So this is overtime in the Bears-Rams game. You got a bunch of diehard Bears fans who live, breathe, die with this team, have been waiting for this moment for decades. The Bears throw an interception in overtime. Looks like they're going to win the game. Throw an interception. I believe this is the first play after the interception. Steve Che, has bet a prop for Puka Nacua to run for 4 yards, and that's his reaction with these Bears fans. He deserved to be knocked out cold. He deserved to be. I don't know. He probably had $10 on this. You have those three guys, Mikey, Betts, Chief, White Sox Dave. This is their lives. This is the celebration for a 4-yard run. Holy cow! Does he deserve to have his face caved in?
Look at Mitzi.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Is that a Cubs shirt too?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable reaction for a 4-yard rushing prop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you think Che knows what he's doing there?
No,
Or that
no.
just
That's
that-
authentic.
He's just blissfully ignorant to the world around him. He's got a little mincy in him in that way.
He doesn't even know what he did wrong there.
Yeah.
I actually was talking to Dan Big Cat after the game. He was so down. He showed me these tickets. He had all these bets on the Bears to beat the Pats, Bears Super Bowl. And I go, did you see what Che did? He goes, please send it to me. I need something to put a smile on my face. And I think it did because it's so preposterous.
My stock up. This was actually written before McDermott got fired. But my stock up, Mike's and Sean's.
Oh, wow.
Both AFC and NFC matchups, coaching wise, a Mike versus a Sean. You got Vrabel against Peyton. You've got McVay against McDonald. But now McDermott got fired, so maybe the Seans are out. I don't know. But this is. Have we talked about how Sean is this? It's crazy how many Seans there were in the NFL.
Wait, was it on
There's
the
not that
Monday
many
show?
Seans in the world.
We did an Irish coach thing recently. A lot of Irish coaches right now.
Stock up. New England's receivers. Again, I think it's the least talked about thing about this. Drake May kind of struggled a little bit. He was fine. I mean, there's no really a commentary on Drake May, but when his receivers had to make a play, that catch by Booty in the end zone was incredible. The catch by Stephon Diggs in the end zone was incredible. They got to get a stock up. Stock down. Gene Steratore and every rules official in the booth. I am sick of it. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. They don't say anything. They don't get it right. They're never going to go against the call on the field. They're never going to actually say anything. Get rid of them. It's terrible. Whether it's Gene Steratore, Bill LeMonnier, all the guys they put in the booth are useless. You're wasting salaries if you're putting them in there. Stock down. College football's momentum. 10 playoff games have happened in the NFL. 10 have happened since Miami and Indiana played and won.
We haven't even talked about the national championship.
10!
That's what happened.
And we
10
knew
playoff games.
We knew this was going to happen.
It has disappeared. It has taken too long. This season should have been over 3 weeks ago. The fact that college football allows the NFL to take the spotlight. Once you give the NFL a spotlight, it's theirs. They have it. And last stock down, well, he already said it, but CJ Stroud, generationally bad performance yesterday, and I have no idea how Davis Mills does not come into that football game.
Yeah, he had one of those games. You see this every now and then where if he would have spiked the ball every play, he would have a higher QB rating than what he ended up.
You are a generational hater if you don't put me in your stock up list, Walker.
Let me tell you this, Dave, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And I don't think there's a human being alive that changed my life more than you, but I swear to God in front of Jesus and everybody, I will never, ever put you in stock up. I don't care what you do.
I mean, that's, like I said, a generational hater because my stock cannot be higher right now.
It's your Taverin is very strong. All right.
Shut up with that stuff.
Stock up.
What is that?
It's from Wheel of Time. We talked about it.
What is Wheel of Time?
It's an old fantasy series where some people's Taverin is so strong that reality weaves around them.
Go ahead.
Stock up. LSU football, man. If you haven't paid attention. I mean, did we just decimate Ole Miss? Did we leak numbers of the contracts of what players are making, causing everybody to hit the portal? And today's Patriots, Dave, Caleb on Chason, Kayshawn Booty, Will Campbell, all LSU guys.
Will Campbell got his ass kicked.
Hey, Will Campbell, relax though. Still, he's doing the last.
He got his ass kicked
because he's going against Daniil Hunter, another LSU guy. Stock up, Martin Luther King Jr. Man, incredible day. Happy MLK Day. Yesterday at church, they had a man speak that was 5 years old in the March for Washington. It was really impactful. Amazing to think that all happened not that long ago. Somebody who we can all draw a little inspiration from today. Stock up the NFC West. I mean, they just control the conference. Yet another NFC West rubber match with everything on the line. Stock up Lord of the Rings. They re-released the movies into theaters this weekend. Seeing Fellowship Extended Edition on the big screen and high-quality laser 4K projection with the top-tier sound system. It is just as revolutionary and incredible as it was back in 2001. Shout out Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson in his bag. Stock down, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud. For all those reasons. Meek, what do you got?
Stock up.
I got to stock down. I got to stock down my integrity. My integrity stock down. We formed a great relationship with Netflix. You can go watch PMT. You can watch Chicklets. You can watch Rosillo Show. I watched The Rip. And I decided not to tweet my feelings because they're integrity down. Me. Continue.
Stock up. Stephen Shea for not being assaulted by Bears fans yesterday. He's living a good life. I want to give a stock up to Marty Mush for breaking John Harbaugh to the Giants last Monday. If Marty didn't do that, maybe John Harbaugh is coaching the Bills in a few days. I also want to give a stock up to the Jets because over the last 17 AFC Championship games, they've all featured at least one of three teams: the Pats, the Chiefs, and the Jets. I think that's a class of the AFC. I also want to give a stock up to Hogdale, who has not lost a playoff game since being hired by Barstool with the Patriots. Stock down, like Brandon said, college football. It's insane. We have the championship game tonight. It should have been 3 weeks ago. And I want to give a stock down to the Phillies, who thought they had Bo Bichette signed to a 7-year, $200 million contract last week, only for the Mets to swoop in and steal him from him. And now the Phillies are running back the same old team, the same old core. So stock down.
Also, Meek, shouldn't Hogdale get a stock up for his height?
Yeah,
He's apparently
stock up for everything.
6'4".
I didn't know.
He's just a giant? I had no idea.
6'4"?
Yeah.
Dude.
He's a big lad.
He doesn't look 6'4" on my phone.
He does not read 6'4" when he's in the booth. The man is a height up.
Giant.
Liam, what do you got?
Stock up. Chicken broth weather. You saw what was going on the Rams sidelines. A little chicken broth, hot cocoa, and cayenne pepper in your socks.
Ooh.
Gumbo weather, a thing of the past.
No.
Yes,
This
it's all
is
about
gumbo weather.
It's all about chicken broth weather.
Oh my God.
Australian Open. I didn't go to sleep tonight. I haven't slept in a long time. I've been watching so much tennis. Fan of the game. Flan. I ain't never had a flan before. You ever had flan
I've never
before?
had flan. I've always wanted it.
I had 3 flans in the last 7 days, me and Jersey Jerry. We're flan guys now. Incredible. Stock down. I hate golf because you sit there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The guy you bet is crushing it. Sunday comes, moves the bed. It's the worst. You sit there on the couch so excited to watch golf for months and months, and your guy stinks up. Brutal. Doctors, I think the Bo Nix broken ankle doctor is a Patriots fan.
Why wouldn't they have waited to tell people that till later? Is that illegal?
I've heard some idea out there that Sean Payton wanted to kind of empower Stidham and be like, hey, you're going to be our guy. But yeah, I mean, it's a fair question. But we have to go to break. We're a little tight on time here. When we get back, now it's finally time for college football's #1 personality, Brandon Walker, to talk about the college football national championship taking place tonight. More Wake Up Barstool.
I barely even remember these teams.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. All college football scheduling criticisms be damned. It's time to talk about the national championship. And we have Brandon Walker here, college football's #1 personality, Miami, Indiana. Brandon, we've talked about this game a ton. What's your final read on it?
I don't have my final read. We are 10 hours from it, and I was about to announce I do not have my final read.
Oh, wow,
because
okay.
Miami has everything you need to upset a team like Indiana. They have a strong defensive line who's going to get after you. They have a strong offensive line that can keep the ball, and that can have long clock-eating drives.
Yep.
The problem with that is Indiana defies all logic, and they defy all all previous thinking about college football. They are perfect. They don't make mistakes. Their quarterback throws perfect balls. Their receivers catch them all. Their linemen block the perfect scheme every single time. And then afterwards, the quarterback's a perfect politician. Like Indiana, I just can't see putting American money against Indiana, but my heart says Miami has everything it required to win this game in an upset.
Yeah, look, I go ahead, Dave.
Well, here's my thoughts. I'm going to just read them straight. They're not my thoughts. They're a gentleman, Danny Boy Canes. And he tweeted this about 3 hours ago. And this is my thoughts on the game through him. My fellow Canes, we have been in the abyss for over 20 years. Tonight is our opportunity to get out of the abyss and bring home the big trophy number 6. The team over there is a wagon in Indiana, but as we saw, especially Iowa, Penn State, and Ohio State, if you rattle Mendoza, you could force a mistake. Indiana has not been tested in this playoffs. We have. I want to see this game go to the fourth quarter with the game on the line. Indiana has not been in that spot since Penn State game, and I mean that, trailing with 2 minutes to play. Penn State couldn't close it out in late November. If we're in the same spot that Penn State was back in November with a chance to close out versus IU, unlike Penn State, we have the players to do it and close. I have it 27-23 Canes. I believe the defense will make a play late to seal it. Hashtag Go Canes, beat Indiana. That's Danny Boy Kane.
That's
Pretty
actually
solid breakdown.
That's actually
by Danny Boy
remarkably
Kane.
well said.
Yeah. I was going to say I can see exactly what he's talking about.
Indiana has been in close games. I know the 2 playoff games have not been, but Indiana has been in close games.
Yeah, they're battle tested.
Iowa.
And Miami was almost perfect against Ohio State.
Well, and that's what they're going to have to do again, right? And that is the piece of evidence that you point to if you're a Miami fan as a common opponent that you handled Ohio State better than Indiana did. And I agree with everything that you said, Brandon, right? When Indiana struggled, it's been their inability to run the ball. The only 3 times it's been in close games this year. Miami has the best run defense that they faced all year, so you would think they'd be well-suited to stopping that. I think Miami covers. I think the number is a bit too big. I think obviously Miami's going to have to play much cleaner than they did against Ole Miss. If they do that, they'll get blown out. But I think Miami covers. To me, though, it is the difference between Fernando Mendoza and Carson Beck that just looms so large in this game. And Mendoza right now is as dialed as any quarterback we've ever seen in a playoff run. Shades of 2019 Burrow in terms of how locked in he is. And I think that's going to be the difference. Because, I look at Miami, you mentioned them running the ball. And they want to control the ball. Both teams do. But that's a great way to stop Mendoza, right? Extend drives. Can you run it on Indiana? It looks like you should be able to because of how small they are, but they're just incredible. They don't miss tackles. They execute on all their twists and their schemes perfectly. So to me, they're going to try to force Beck. They're going to prioritize stopping Miami running the ball. They're going to try to force Beck to go downfield because that's when Miami got into trouble earlier in the year. But if Beck passes that test, then we have a ball game. Miami might be able to get their ground game going through Beck taking the top off a little bit.
This is one of those games that, from the betting perspective, 8.5. I think Miami either wins this or they're nowhere close.
Yeah,
I don't think
agreed.
they're going to lose by 4. I think they either pull the upset or they lose by 3 touchdowns. I don't think there's in between.
Terrified of betting Miami and knowing that they can keep this close and it being 21-0 with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
The last 7 championship games have been double-digit decided by.
Okay, on the way out here, Liam, you're our college football expert number 2. What do you got?
Maybe you should bet Miami money line and Indiana minus the 8.5. That could be a genius play, Brandon. You ever think about that?
What?
What do you think about?
You bet the Miami money line because you're FOMO of them winning at that price.
Sure.
But,
What is it, like plus 240?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not enough to make
That's
the
not
difference
enough.
here.
but then okay, fine, whatever. Take
wait,
Indiana
wait,
minus
what about the
13.5.
actual
Take
game?
Indiana
What
minus 13.5.
about the actual
I ain't
game?
holler. I think they're begging you to take Miami. I like Indiana by 2-3 touchdowns.
I agree with that.
There you go.
The line does scream Indiana to me.
Well, we'll see tonight. Danny Boy Kane, not how he sees it. They're not done yet. Well, I guess we'll see.
What a
Look
banner.
at that. Barstool
What
Sports
a
is a
banner.
great organization the way they do things over there.
I'll be rooting for Danny Boy.
And we're taking Nowakowski touchdown.
Coming up next, closing out this Monday show. What's happening? Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool. Last segment of the day. All right, boys. What did we miss today?
The Dodgers signed Kyle Tucker last week and ended the MLB season before it even started.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
More importantly, that kid got his chicken nuggets stolen by his dad.
Which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's called the dad tax.
Yeah.
And there is no state tax laws that makes you exempt. That is universal. That is worldwide. If you're handing your kid a glass of milk, you take a sip. If you're handing him nuggets, you take a bite. Like, it's
how
just
sad he is.
it doesn't matter. He has to understand that he birthed you. He provides for. He didn't birth you, but he conceived you.
like yes.
He provides for you.
I look like stool sales guy.
A lot of people have been photoshopping Mincy into the little kid's face too, and it's very funny.
Oh, that does look like that.
A little bit.
I thought he meant the baby at first.
No.
No, Gas is the dad. Okay, do we have any other thing that we missed, boys?
Oh, yeah, Ben Mintz is 0-10 in the office playoff pool.
Crazy.
Only one to go 0-10
He's going to win
Crazy.
$500.
by just being in last place. Everything comes up Ben Mintz. Just the way it
He's
is.
going to win?
He's gonna
Well, the
win.
last place
There's
gets.
a booby prize.
Yeah, last place gets.
This world is rigged towards him, man. This world
Him,
sucks.
him and Dave are a wonderful opposite sides of the same coin, competence and incompetence, and yet reality just seems to swirl around both of them.
We missed- Sorry.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. When your team is in it, fighting for a Super Bowl, it really is. So all in New England, get your sleep, get rest up. It's going to be a long 3 weeks, but it's the best 3 weeks of the year, hopefully.
Okay, there we go. Not looking ahead though.
Connor McDavid is the greatest human alive.
Yeah, that was a hell of a play last night.
Patty the Batty, Saturday night. Justin Gaffey, go Patty the Batty. Justin Gaffey wants to threaten to beat me up. Patty Batty was a Barstool athlete, so we know who I'm rooting for.
Did anybody watch Game of Thrones last night?
Sure.
I didn't know it came out.
Not yet. All right.
Go get him, Patty.
Patty's the favorite.
Thank you, Dave.
What is
Thank you,
the
Brandon.
odds?
Thank you, Meek. Thank you, Liam. More Wake Up tomorrow.